Hello, my name is Ollie. I'm reporting live from the Houston Museum of Natural Science. Today I'll be talking to you about energy. Energy is a great source. Let's go to the energy hall and talk more about it. To move on to our energy video, we have to move on. We have to learn about another kind of science. It's called geology. Geology means rocks and minerals, the study of rocks and minerals. Now, the way that relates to energy is how they could look about a source. Is about how they can look about the source. That source is called phytoplankton. Long ago, there were these little tiny organisms. Anyway, actually, 1,000 million trillion years ago, there was this big boom. The boom contained a lot of energy. These phytoplankton absorb the sun's energy for millions and millions of years. When the big boom came, when the phytoplankton died, a lot of scientists found them. The way they found it was a chart. We'll talk about that chart once we get there. Anyway, so, have you ever heard of the word mountains? The way this works to energy is how it appeared long ago. You're familiar with this place, aren't you? This is Earth. Earth is our home planet. Now, name all the countries. And if you go long ago, you don't see why there's only one country, and that one is called Pangea. See that right there? See that big spot right there? That is Pangea. All the continents used to be together. Over time, created mountains and labs. The labs, wait. The mountains are moving up and down. Now, the way that works is millions and millions of years ago, there was a continent called Pangea. You already know that. When it got farther, all the continents started appearing around. And that made what we see today, mountains. If you have any more questions about these phytoplankton or mountains, watch this video. Sorry everyone, abandoned movie. So, let's talk about, remember the geology? Of course you're familiar of this kind of rock. Limestone is one of the rocks that traps the oil, and that is familiar. Also, salt. Salt is a kind of rock. Now, if you want all the hello everyone. So, ever heard of the word erosion or eruption? Now, something happens with all the bubbles. Remember the salt and in the limestone? The oil bubbles up in a lot of bubbles. Now, we'll see a lot of tools at how that happens after this one statement. Now, there's some kind of rock that traps the oil. It is called shale. Shale. Something called the catwalk is made. The catwalk is a kind of walk that traps the oil and gas. See if I can find that here. Now, this is what I want. This scale. This scale is used to detect energy. Now, and walk. I will show you that. I will show you how they do that. But first, let's see where all of the walk is. Now, let's find shale. You can't see this pretty well. I know, because the phone's too far away. But so, millions and millions of years ago, there were you already knew that. Anyway, so millions and millions of years ago, I already told you. So remember the time I told you about this big explosion and these micro things and these microorganisms? Well, those microorganisms were something that were absorbed energy, and when they died, they turned forward. All that energy released when these rocks formed. Now, let's see how they detected some rocks that trapped the oil. With this scale, for instance. That scale detected the energy. So, remember I taught you about where the rocks are that trap the oil. Now, one man was in New York. He loved looking at rocks. Once he found out there were different rocks in different places, he decided that he needed to know where the younger rocks and the older rocks are. He explored the whole state and found a lot of it. He drawn it on a pad, and here it is. This scale will show you where the rock is young. So this rock, so all these rocks are younger and older, like I said. Now, let's see how they drill the rock out. So this is a lot of drills. The first drill, this one contains a lot of drilling, but I mean, it's only like one drill, right? I know it has a hole in it, but why? I wish you were here to touch it, but anyway. So, this is called a fishtail. Now, the reason it's called that is because there's a little hole right there. See? And so it didn't work very well. So then let's move on to the other drill. This drill had two. This drill had two drills. It was very successful, and it had diamonds. I mean, diamonds could break through anything. I mean, ever heard of the walk scale? Diamond number 10? Yeah. I mean, 2 drills. Is that enough? No, it's not. So let's move it was better than that one or that one because it had a lot of diamonds and a lot of quick and a lot of quickly spines and it had diamonds on it. Now, I mean, they keep adding more and more diamonds to it. Of course, they could break through anything. Now, to see why they needed a drill, let's go to the geo amplifier, whatever. Anyway, they use sound. So, to do where to drill, they use sound waves. So, you ever heard of wave control? So, that wave control uses waves to get energy. Now, how that works? Glad you asked. Look up there. You see up there the line? So, they use that when they detect sound waves. If it bounces back, those red things bounce sound waves. If it bounces back, it will go on those green things. And they use this, and this is a model of how they use the sound waves to make it go up. Okay. So some oil is expensive and some oil is cheaper. The oil that is cheaper is this over here. One of this thing is that it's really hard to get out. And another thing is that another thing is that it's so hard and dry. One way. Right? This is heavy. This is how strong I can use it.
Okay.
So, if you go all the way over here to the easy ones, you see how those guys could oil it gooder. That's because it's expensive and it doesn't cost as much to make it oil. So, the way you make this kind of oil is this machine.
Go ahead.
So, after they suck the oil out, do this, and that's the oil. They have to thin the oil and make it useful. So, the way they use it is thinning. This machine makes the oil more useful. It thins it and stuff. So they use water. So the oil is trapped down. What do you do to get it out? You drill it and do stuff to it. But when you can't get the oil to suck from using one of a kind of thing called a Christmas tree, it uses the Christmas tree. When the oil flows, it just blows up. It checks the oil's pressure and sucks it up.
Ollie, you need to speak up because it's so loud in here.
So,
what is this called again?
So, this is called the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree, it looks like a Christmas tree, right? Yeah, it does look like a Christmas tree. So, the reason that this is called the Christmas tree is not because it doesn't do anything. It's just for a decoration. It's because because it looks like a Christmas tree. Yeah, it looks like it. But it is not used for that reason. It uses it to pump down, to suck the oil. Sometimes you can't suck the oil because there's oil over there. Because there's oil over there. So the reason you have to do this, the reason you have to do the oil, here's how you get the oil. Pump down water, the oil just flows to you. And then the water is left down there. Because the wok and water is useful because it always uses that. Now, sometimes they only use a Christmas tree. Now let's move on to one of the next steps. Energy is really important. Now, your body is made up of it, and two, it uses a lot of things to make it. You need a lot of coal, you need a lot of electricity, and you need a lot of gases. Not gas like what comes out of you, but gas like what comes out of fire. Now, to get you get 5 times. You get 5 the reason your parents turn off the light if you put it on in the night is because if you think it won't hurt to turn what is that? If you try this experiment at home. If you have a leaking drain, put a pot in it and see if it has a lot of water. I mean, that will contain a lot of water, right? As soon as you get it. That's the same thing of electricity. You're using 5 times more than you're using. Than you think you're using. Now, energy is an important thing out there. Now, remember folks, energy is an important thing. Don't waste it. Or don't care about oil, coal, or gas. And don't waste it because energy is an important source to you and me.